Let's go. We are live, guys. वेलो खेलना है guys. ग्राइंड चलेगा आज तगड़ा. Something 5 बजे तक हम ग्राइंड करने वाले हैं.
This is how to get perfect aim in 1 month. First, go to your controls and unbind crouch. Next, start a team deathmatch and insta-lock Reyna, so you don't have to focus on using any utility. For stage 1, use the ghost and try to practice your strafing in 1 tap so we can improve our pistol rounds. For stage 2, pick the sheriff and again practice your strafing and 1 taps to practice our movement. Finally, for stage 4, pick the vandal and just practice your burst strafing and dead zoning so we can master the vandal. After your deathmatch, go play the spike defuse scenario until you can beat it on hard mode. For my full guide, check out my YouTube.
अच्छा मुझे क्रॉस हेयर प्लेसमेंट गाइड देखनी थी. एक मिनट गाइस, आओ इसी में देखते हैं ना. क्रॉस हेयर प्लेसमेंट. बहुत खूबसूरत हो तुम, आफरी 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 आफरी. मैं बीब क़यामत होगी आज शुक्रा की हरी के सूरत हो तुम. ट्रेनिंग एम फॉर रैंक मैच वैलोरेंट. ओ भाई 11 व्यूज आए हैं IPR भाई. नहीं, गलती से मेरा भी एनालिटिक्स खुल गया. किडिंग 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 क्या देखना था.
Like Roblox, the sandbox allows you to build your own 3D games using its Game Maker application.
How many of you are tired watching Valorant highlights only to get excited, head into a game and aim like this? Well, I've got you covered. Yo, Saif here, just out of knife, and welcome to my updated crosshair placement guide to help you win a lot more gunfights in the most common scenarios. I know you've heard this a million times, but just hear me out. Head level essentially refers to making sure your crosshair is at head level. It seems easy, but what you fail to realize is how detailed it can be. Will your crosshair be at the same height regardless of distance? Of course not. The further an enemy is from you, the lower they'll be from your initial crosshair point. See how my crosshair is perfectly on the head of Phoenix. Now look at a distance of 40 meters and notice what was perfect head level is now well above his head. It's all down to distance. This is why so many of you look at Valorant in a 2-dimensional manner. You need to realize how distance greatly impacts your crosshair placement, and simply seeing head level crosshair as just having your crosshair higher up isn't it?
ये लाइक मेरे को भी इशू होता है. जैसे मैं फ्रेंड टू फ्रेंड खेलूंगा ना, तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, जब हमें स्पॉन होते तो मैं क्रॉसर उतना ही रखता हूँ. बट जैसे कितने हम आगे पीछे होते तो क्रॉस में फिर वो हिल जाता है. कोई बंदा जैसे ऊपर से आ रहा है तो उसके लिए अलग है, नीचे आ रहा है तो अलग है.
As a rule of thumb, whenever you're holding or peeking an angle further out, lower your crosshair slightly. Practicing this isn't particularly easy. It's more or less playing the game and getting your reps in. However, you can greatly accelerate this by going into a custom game and utilizing the images I've posted in the description. Essentially aligning your crosshair to how mine is. Here's a total of 7 screenshots of each map showcasing the common spots, because not everyone has the time or ability to have a friend stand in common spots. All I ask is that you like the video. The next point is knowing where to position your crosshair when peeking a sight. Again, you've seen this covered a lot, which is slicing the pie. Slicing the pie allows you to limit the number of angles you expose yourself to by isolating them individually. And the better you are at this, the quicker you can eliminate them. It's a cornerstone concept within crosshair placement, and one that is essential to succeed. Firstly, you need to make sure your understanding of head level crosshair placement is adequate, as this takes it up a notch. Secondly, have a good enough grasp of movement. The basic version of slicing the pie and what most players use is peeking in what you'd consider an arc-like manner by positioning the crosshair on the corner and peeking slowly. Although this is bad, it's still a massive improvement over the beginner version of just running to the side like this. The advanced form, and one that I strongly recommend and actively use, is combining the fundamentals of strafing, which is stopping before shooting, and head level crosshair placement. The very first thing I do is visualize the first angle, strafe the necessary distance with my crosshair already pre-aimed. Notice how I'm pre-aiming. I'm not moving my mouse all that much. I've already positioned my crosshair here, and the main reason is when I do strafe, I want my crosshair already pre-aimed, removing the aspect of actively aiming, essentially making my life easier in the event there's an enemy present. From there, it's a matter of repeating the steps, but when you approach a spot where there are two angles where an enemy could be, which one do you prioritize? Well, this comes down to which of the two angles is more common. So for this particular spot, it's clearly going to be the one on heaven. Why? Because the other angle is essentially a one and done spot, meaning whoever decides to play there has very limited options to escape. They can't really go to the right because it's blocked off, and the distance between the nearest safe zone is here, but in between is a spammable box known as dice, so we will pre-aim heaven as opposed to left side hell. But keep in mind that the rule of thumb is whichever spot is more common, it's where you pre-aim, since it's impossible to pre-aim both at the same time. Holding angles. An area that so many seem to get confused about is understanding how to hold angles. I've mentioned it so many of my guys like here, but to summarize, holding an angle can be a relatively simple task as most of the chips are on your side. And if you're consistently losing fights when holding angles, something isn't right. Just like prior, we'll be implementing the basics, which is head level and building on that. Holding angles can be broken down into several steps. What is the angle you're in? Is it a common angle or is it an off angle? A common angle being one that is frequently held, and an off angle can be any angle that is uncommon to see a player holding. If you're on a common angle, understand that when the enemy peeks you, they'll be prepared for you. So it's important to position your crosshair appropriately. If you're on an off angle, you have the element of surprise. However, there is no escape, so it's imperative you're holding wider. As the moment they clear one common angle, they'll be pre-aiming the next common angle, and that's your window to strike. And generally, if you're in an off angle, hold wide, and if you're common angle, hold tight. However, what's common is players holding very tight and relying too much on their flicks, which is one of the main reasons they fumble their shots when holding, and it's something that I'm guilty of. Whenever you're flicking, you're processing the enemy swinging and adjusting your crosshair to flick to either where they're gonna be or as they're swinging. But how many of you have held tight, missed a shot, had the enemy swing, and you whiffed the flick only to be killed? Proper crosshair placement eliminates this RNG by simply doing all the work and only requiring you to just click. A neat tip to know where to position a crosshair is, if you're not parallel with an angle, you should hold wider and adjust based on your reaction time. So the greater the degree you are from an angle, the wider you hold. For instance, in an obtuse angle like this, you would hold fairly wide compared to if you're parallel with one. Understood? Perfect. One way to greatly improve your chance of winning duels when holding is learn to utilize off angles more often. The number of you watching that routinely hold standard angles like these without thinking, is this optimal for me? It's far too high. Let's derive a simple scenario so you can better understand my point. Time is ticking. With each second, the enemy is struggling to hit a sight. In a desperate attempt to win the round, they call a fake to A, get a team to rotate, but you smartly decide to stay, and now you hear multiple enemies pushing towards you. What would you do in this situation? Would you A, hold this spot, or B, decide to utilize this off angle? If you chose B, you're correct. Why? Because the enemy don't have the time to meticulously clear every angle, let alone off angles. As long as your shot is good, you can reliably get one or two and even win the round. Check out this guide in the top right hand corner to rapidly improve your proficiency with the Vandal. Last but not least, I'll be breaking down some I consider to have the best crosshair placement fundamentals. For me, Ye epitomizes sublime crosshair placement, and although he's in a slump right now, there's a reason why he has smooth, consistent aim, and it all comes down to his understanding of crosshair placement. Let's look at this clip and showcase how Ye is able to anticipate the enemy and effortlessly eliminate them.
Outside. One flank and one drop. That's one drop behind you.
Which one? Did he break door?
Yeah, right there.
Based on what I told you earlier, did you notice how Ye was able to win those gunfights? If he did, perfect. The moment Reyna saw Ye, he immediately repositioned in anticipation of a swing. And look where he positions his crosshair. From here to here. And the reason why is so that if the Reyna decides to hunt, he's ready and waiting. He feels the Reyna isn't going to swing, but look how he's moving in connection with his crosshair. He's not doing this, which so many of us are guilty, especially myself, while moving whilst positioning his crosshair, so all he has to do is just tap.
One flank and one drop.
This is wonderful from Ye. He hears the call, one heaven, he dropped back sight, and look at the way Ye is setting himself up for a simple kill. As he's moving, he's still keeping his crosshair the same distance, so that if the omen peeks, it's just a simple click and he's dead. Lastly, for the killjoy, he maintains the same philosophy of keeping your crosshair in the same distance even when moving, and when the killjoy peeks, he literally didn't even have to flick but the tiniest of micro adjustment. What I want everyone that's watching is head into a custom game and practice this technique. Try clearing angles by having your crosshair slightly further out as opposed to having it wandering around or very tight to an angle.
Okay. 2000
क्या कपड़े होता हूँ मैं
चलो
एकदम।
अभी तो मैं सोचना नहीं है इसके बारे में, बट हमें जहाँ तक गेम्स समझना आया है, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी विल गो टू द प्रैक्टिस सेक्शन एंड राइट। ठीक है, प्री एमिंग करनी है, कैसे करनी है मैं तुम्हें बताता था। बहुत खूबसूरत हो आफरिया, लेट वी सेलेक्ट हारेना। ये आ गया, वेंडर आ गई। ठीक है, बड़ी ही खूबसूरत हो तुम आफरी आफरी, हाँ आफरी आफरी। खाया पिया पिलाओ पे लो, खा लो पी लो पे लो, खा लो पी लो पे लो, खा लो पी लो। मैं बहुत दिनों से एक चीज देख रहा हूँ, लेट मी चेक। Shift plus enter type slash.
Match found.
बहुत खूबसूरत हो तुम आफरी आफरी I will slash और क्या था फिर टाइम और प्लस द मैसेज offering स्लैश का भी सीन है क्या कुछ ये स्लैश है ना और क्या प्लस में भी लिखना पड़ेगा ओके डुअलिस्ट कंट्रोलर तो अपन है बहुत खूबसूरत हो मैं आफरी आफरी वाओ
Match found.
somebody dolled whoa hey player number two select first player number 2 Suyo Jodo video select na bro select okay I can play with the Viper na okay
No one can hold their breath forever.
smoke I don't think so we should take one smoke भाई ने कहा वही लूंगा जो मना किया टीम में वही लेने का और कुछ लेने का ही नहीं वाइपर का है वाइपर 2575 वाइपर तो अपन है तू कैसे है रे वाइपर आफरी थोड़ी देर में अपने डेवल भाई भी आएंगे Whoa! Come on!
Viper, you must let me take you out sometime. Dinner, dancing,
Yeah, babe.
perfect place.
Chamber, I would rather drink my own poison.
सबको पार्टी का इनवाइट दिया आ जाओ भाई पार्टी में आ जाओ भाई कैसा ये तू किधर चलना है? सी चलता है सी।
Here. Here. Toxins going up.
बहुत अरे यार मेरे वॉल लगा था, मैं वॉल के चक्कर में अरे क्या क्या कर रही है तो मेरी बॉडी में बेटा मैंने हक दिया अच्छी पे, मैं गलत बॉल लगाया, हल्का सा कह सकता हूँ। ये बहुत रिकमेंडेड मतलब ऐसा हो गया ना, वहाँ पे ही लगाएगा बंदा बॉल, अब मैं वहाँ लगाऊंगा इंशाल्लाह। आते रहो करते रहो, मैंने कहा था फाइट नहीं होल्ड करते सब। अच्छा भाई हमारा प्लांट करने का फेज है, अभी होल्ड नहीं करना
भाई। प्लांट हो गया था तो मैं इसलिए क्या था,
प्लांट करने के बाद तो इनको करना चाहिए था। चलो आगे चेक करो ना यार, इनिशिएटर कौन है आगे चेक कर क्या हो।
प्लांट कर।
अरे प्लांट ही नहीं हो रहा भाई, प्लांट नहीं हो रहा। किधर है?
अरे नीचे थोड़ी प्लांट होगा,
ऊपर जाके प्लांट कर। भाई वो बहुत क्या हग रहा हूँ मैं।
वाइपर तो उधर ही क्यों प्लान कर रहा है, तो स्पॉम डालता है वो।
अरे यार गलत, वही तो मैं इसलिए नहीं प्लांट नहीं करने चाह रहा था वही। अरे हाँ
ऊपर ही प्लांट होता है, नीचे के साइड प्लांट क्यों होता है?
इधर आओ भी आओ। मैं बैठा अरे पता नहीं क्या दिमाग खराब हो रहा है। सॉरी सॉरी।
बी पे होल्ड करना, वो लोग बी से आते हैं तो बी पे होल्ड करना, घुसना मत एकदम से कोई सा भी।
अरे पीछे से आ गई भाई।
Down B.
पीछे से पड़ आ रहा है, एक और आ रहा है। राइट।
One enemy remaining.
नाइस।
अरे वाइपर तो वॉल डाल, मैं आजू बाजू स्मोक करता हूँ तो उसमें जाके प्लान करते हैं।
ओके
तू रश मत कर, तू रश करेगा तो वापस हम लोगों को जाना
अरे
पड़ेगा।
भाई केओ आ गया है, तू बैक स्टेप में देख रहा हूँ।
मेरे को बैक स्टेप से ही पड़ा भाई, आगे मैं खेल रहा था। चलो कोई नहीं।
हाँ अरे मैं उसको मारा ना, कौन एक मारी थी।
वाइपर वॉल डालो। यो नाइफ हैक।
One suppressed.
Poison orb emitting.
प्लांट कर प्लांट।
Toxins going up. Toxin screen down.
Reloading. They found my
होल्ड करो होल्ड करो होल्ड करो होल्ड 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 होल्ड
क्यू अप कर दे वाइपर।
रुक जा कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
Poison orb emitting.
वाइपर यहीं बैठ जा यहीं बैठ जा वाइपर यहीं बैठ जा।
One enemy remaining.
here.
They will die. Hopeless.
अरे वो सॉरी यार, पहले रिमाउंड में जाने का दिमाग खराब हो गया था मेरा। क्या आ गया मैं वहाँ, उसने 2 बार वहाँ पे वही मारा ना, तो मेरा दिमाग खराब हो गया, तो मैं गलती से वो हो गया।
वाइपर स्पाइक प्लान करेगा ना तो उस पे क्यू मार के रख, और अगर एनिमीज वगैरह आएंगे ना तो उसको ऑफ कर दे।
नहीं रुक जा, मैं ऑफ एंगल पे इसलिए बैठा था, अगर वो आता मैं स्मोक करके आराम से मार देता, चिंता मत कर, इतना ले लूंगा मैं। अरे वो पहले गेम में
मैं आगे बढ़ के स्मोक कर दूंगा तो तू प्लान कर सकता है।
चलो अभी यहीं चल रहे हैं।
एक बार
Toxins going up. Grenade! Toxin screen down.
बैक स्टेप देखो।
One down. My ultimate is ready.
फिनिक्स भी वहीं था।
Poison orb emitting.
वाइपर वाइपर
Last player standing. Don't get in my way. Spike planted. Poison's off.
वाइपर यहीं रहे वहीं रहे एकदम एग्जैक्टली यहीं रहे।
शांति
होल्ड कर खेल मत।
One enemy remaining.
ये बीच में
पीछे शायद आवाज आ रहा है।
बीच में घुस
कोई नहीं, शांत ब्रो, बस शांत रहो। अरे यार
बोला था।
टैंक सॉरी माय बैड। ए तुम लोग पार्टी में आ जाओ ना, पार्टी में आ जाओ।
अच्छा एक काम करो, केओ भाई बात सुन, केओ आइयो इधर। केओ
अरे कामिकाज़े तू पार्टी में आ जाना ब्रो। देख मैं तेरे को इनवाइट कर दिया।
आ गया भाई।
किधर चलना है?
के अबे रुको सारे बोल केओ सुन ना, अबे केओ है कि नहीं पता है भाई, छोड़ इसको।
क्यों क्या कर रहा है?
Okay.
अरे बाजू
Toxins going up. No charges left.
अरे मार ना, केओ क्या कर रहे हैं? चूतिया।
Spike down B.
मार केओ, स्मोक में मार ना। नाइस चेंबर, नाइस चेंबर।
Spike down B. 30 seconds left. Last
अरे।
player standing.
ठीक है था। एक से में दोनों गए।
We're here.
ये केओ क्या कर रहा है?